My friend is mad at me for dressing nice for a double date. I've known Joel for 5 years now, and we've always been total opposites. He's the confident, athletic type who turns heads when he walks into a room. Me? I'm the chubby, quiet guy who's been losing his hair since 23. We're friends, but we exist in completely different worlds when it comes to dating. So, when Joel asked me to be his wingman on a double date, I was surprised. He'd finally gotten somewhere with Gan, this girl he'd been chasing for weeks. The catch? Jean wanted to bring her friend Sam along. Sam was apparently new to dating and nervous, so Jean thought a double date would feel safer. Joel made it very clear what my role was: keep Sam entertained so he could focus on Jean. Simple enough. I agreed because I had nothing better to do on a Saturday night. Now, here's the thing about Sam. We'd crossed paths a few times at university before this. Every single time, she seemed completely unimpressed by me, and I don't blame her. Those encounters happened while I looked exactly like what I was, a guy who'd given up on trying. But this time, I figured I should at least make an effort. Not for any romantic reason, just basic respect. If someone's giving up their Saturday evening to sit across from me, the least I could do is not look like I just rolled out of bed. So yesterday, I went to an actual barber. I had them cut my hair as short as possible without fully shaving it, trying to own the balding rather than hide it. I cleaned up my beard and shaped it properly. Then I hit the mall and bought clothes that actually fit: a white button-up, a flannel to layer over it, and dark jeans. Nothing expensive, just presentable. The day of the date, I kept second-guessing everything. Was the flannel too much? Eventually, I grabbed a single rose from the grocery store on the way. Corny, maybe, but I thought it might break the ice. I ended up running 5 minutes late. My phone was exploding with texts from Joel. When I finally walked up holding that rose, the energy shifted completely. Joel's face fell immediately. Jean's eyebrows shot up in surprise. But Sam, her entire face transformed. Her eyes actually sparkled, and she broke into this genuine smile. She took the rose and laughed, saying she couldn't remember the last time someone had given her flowers. Joel pulled me aside and whispered, "Dude, what are you doing?" I didn't understand the question. I was just being a decent date. Dinner started with Joel trying to dominate the conversation, but Sam kept asking me questions, genuinely interested. After dinner, Sam suggested bowling. At the alley, Sam and I destroyed Joel and Jean. We were laughing, high-fiving, and she kept playfully trash-talking me every time I got a gutter ball. Then Sam wanted ice cream, so we walked to her favorite local shop. She ordered this weird combination of flavors, and I tried it. Even though it sounded terrible, it was actually amazing. We sat on a bench outside just talking while Joel and Jean wandered around nearby. I wasn't trying to steal anyone's spotlight. I was literally just talking to Sam and laughing at her jokes. Jean seemed perfectly happy watching her friend enjoy herself. When we said our goodbyes, Sam hugged me and whispered, "Thank you for actually trying tonight." She asked if I wanted to hang out again sometime, just us. I said yes before I could overthink it. The second Sam and Jean left, Joel absolutely unloaded on me in the parking lot. He said bringing a rose was cringe and that I'd embarrassed him, that I dressed way too formally. I looked down at my flannel and jeans completely confused. Then he said the quiet part out loud. "You were supposed to entertain Sam so Jean would focus on me, not actually impress her. You made me look bad." I just stared at him, then something in my peripheral vision caught my attention. Sam was standing about 20 feet away next to Jean's car. She was close enough that she'd definitely heard everything Joel just said. Our eyes met and her expression was completely unreadable. She walked toward us slowly and I wanted to disappear into the pavement. When she reached us, she looked directly at Joel. "Is that really why you invited him? To be your unattractive sidekick?" Joel fumbled for words, but Sam cut him off. She turned to me with an expression that made my chest tight. "I need to tell you something I should have said at dinner. There's a reason I kept focusing on you tonight. The thing is, I've actually noticed you around campus for months. I always thought you seemed kind and genuine, but I figured you'd never be interested in someone like me because you were always hanging around with Joel and his crowd. I came tonight specifically hoping to get to know you better." Joel's face went scarlet, but Sam wasn't finished. What she said next changed everything I thought I knew about the entire evening. Jean told me weeks ago that Joel wanted to set us up, but Joel told her to describe you as not really my type when she first mentioned it. Jean showed me the text. He literally wrote, "Bring Sam, but make it clear she's there for backup conversation." I almost didn't come tonight because of how insulting that felt. My stomach dropped. Joel was already backing toward his car. "But Jean convinced me you weren't in on it," Sam continued. "She said you were actually a good guy, and that Joel was being a jerk, so I came to see for myself. And you know what? You showed up with a flower. You asked me real questions. You laughed at my jokes like you actually thought they were funny. You didn't check your phone once." She stepped closer to me. Joel spent the whole night trying to impress Gene by talking about his gym routine and his car. You spent the whole night making me feel like I mattered. Gene appeared beside Sam and put a hand on her shoulder. She looked at Joel with disgust. For the record, I was never interested in you, Joel. I only agreed to tonight because Sam asked me to come. She wanted a buffer in case things got weird. Gene glanced at me. Turns out the only weird thing here was your little plan. Joel finally found his voice. Sam, come on. You can't actually be into him. Look at him. The words hit me like they always did, but this time Sam's reaction made them bounce right off. I am looking at him, she said quietly, and he's the only person here who treated me like a human being tonight. She turned her back on Joel completely and faced me. So, you said yes to hanging out again. Were you serious? I nodded because I couldn't trust my voice. Good, because I'd really like to take you to dinner. My treat this time. And no buffer friends. Just us. Gene grabbed Sam's hand. We're leaving. You two work this out however you want. She shot Joel one more disgusted look. Lose my number. They walked to Gene's car. Sam turned back once and waved at me with this shy smile that made my heart do something complicated. Joel and I stood in that parking lot for a long moment. Cars were pulling in and out around us. Somewhere nearby, a group of teenagers was laughing. I can't believe you'd do that to me, Joel finally said. I looked at him like he'd grown a second head. Do what to you? Show up and be polite? You knew what tonight was supposed to be. Yeah, a double date. Not a setup to make you look good by making me look pathetic. That's not what I... He stopped. Look, man, you know how dating works for guys like us versus guys like you. I needed an edge. An edge, I repeated. You needed me to be your ugly friend, so Gene would feel lucky to be with you. That's exactly what you said, Joel. I heard you. Sam heard you. Gene heard you. His jaw clenched. Whatever. She's not even that hot anyway. I felt something shift in my chest. 5 years of friendship, and this was who he really was. Go home, Joel. Are you serious right now? You're picking some girl you just met over me? I'm picking not being treated like garbage over whatever this is. I walked to my car without looking back. My hands were shaking when I gripped the steering wheel. My phone buzzed before I even got out of the parking lot. Sam. Hey, sorry you had to deal with that. Are you okay? Me. Yeah, just processing. Are you okay? Sam. Honestly, best bad date I've ever been on. At least the first half was good. Me. The bowling part was pretty fun. Sam. You're a terrible bowler. Me. I know. You're a ruthless competitor. Sam. I really do want to see you again, if you're still interested after all that drama. I sat there staring at my phone for a solid minute. Me. I'm interested? When? Sam. Tomorrow? There's a bookstore downtown that does Sunday breakfast. We could look around after. Me. Sounds perfect. Sam. It's a date then. A real one this time. I drove home in a daze. My apartment felt different when I walked in. The same mess. The same laundry I'd been meaning to fold for 3 days. But something had shifted. My phone rang. Joel's name lit up the screen. I declined the call. He called again immediately. I declined again. Then, the texts started. Joel. Dude, answer your phone. Joel. We need to talk about this. Joel. You're really going to throw away our friendship over some girl? Joel. She's playing you, man. Girls like that don't actually go for guys like you. I blocked his number and tossed my phone on the couch. The next morning I woke up early, which never happened on Sundays. I actually ironed the flannel shirt, put on cologne, looked at myself in the mirror and barely recognized the guy looking back. The bookstore was called Chapter and Verse. It was one of those places with mismatched furniture and local art on the walls. Sam was already there when I arrived, sitting in a corner booth with 2 menus in front of her. She waved when she saw me, and I felt that same flutter from the night before. You look nice, she said as I sat down. So do you. And she did. She was wearing a green sweater and jeans, her hair pulled back in a ponytail. No makeup that I could tell. She looked comfortable, real. We ordered coffee and pancakes and started talking. Really talking, not first date small talk, but actual conversation. She told me she was studying graphic design and hated it, that she'd picked the major because her mom said it was practical, but what she really wanted to do was photography. I told her I was in IT and actually liked it, which made me boring at parties. That doesn't make you boring, she said. It makes you someone who found something they're good at. Most people's eyes glaze over when I talk about network security. Most people are idiots. She sipped her coffee. Tell me about the most interesting problem you've solved recently. So I did. I told her about the ransomware attack on a small clinic last month and how I'd managed to recover most of their files. She listened like it actually mattered. Then she showed me her portfolio on her phone. Photographs she'd taken around campus and downtown. They were good. Really good. These are incredible, I said. Why aren't you studying this instead? Money. A photography degree feels like a luxury my family can't afford. What if you just started doing it anyway? Build a portfolio, start getting clients? I've thought about it, but it feels risky. More risky than spending 4 years studying something you hate? She went quiet for a second, then smiled. Okay, fair point. After breakfast, we walked around the bookstore. Sam pulled random books off shelves and read me the first lines. I found a cookbook from the 1,950 seconds with the most insane recipes. Aspic sounds like a disease, Sam said, looking at a photo of meat suspended in gelatin. Pretty sure people in the 50s just hated food. We bought nothing but spent 2 hours there. When we finally left, the sun was high and the street was busy with Sunday crowds. Want to walk around downtown? Sam asked. Yeah, definitely. We wandered past shops and restaurants, talking about everything and nothing. At one point, Sam grabbed my hand when we were crossing a street and just kept holding it after we reached the other side. This okay? She asked. Yeah. We ended up in a small park where families were having picnics and dogs were chasing frisbees. We sat on a bench under a tree and watched people pass by. Can I ask you something? Sam said. Sure. Why were you so surprised last night when I said I'd noticed you before? I looked down at our hands, still linked together. Because girls like you don't usually notice guys like me. What does that even mean? Come on, Sam. You know what I mean. She squeezed my hand. No, I really don't. Because from where I'm sitting, you're smart and funny and you showed up to a date with a flower even though you thought nothing would happen. That's not something most guys would do. Joel's always been the one girls pay attention to. I'm used to being the friend in the background. Joel's a jerk who tried to use you as a prop. You're the guy who made me laugh so hard I snorted ice cream out of my nose. I couldn't help but smile. That was pretty funny. It was mortifying, but you didn't make me feel bad about it. She turned to face me fully. Look, I know you probably have a whole thing in your head about how you're not attractive or whatever, but that's not what I see. I see someone genuine, and that's so much rarer than you think. My throat felt tight. I don't know what to say. You don't have to say anything. She leaned her head on my shoulder. Just keep being you. We sat like that for a while, watching the park slowly empty as the afternoon stretched on. Eventually, Sam checked her phone and sighed. I have to get going. I've got a project due tomorrow that I've been avoiding. Yeah, I should probably do laundry at some point. We walked back toward the bookstore where her car was parked. When we got there, she turned to face me. So, I had a really good time today. Me too. Can we do this again? Soon? Definitely. She stood on her toes and kissed my cheek. Text me when you get home. I will. I watched her drive away, then walked to my own car, feeling like I was floating. My phone had 17 missed calls from Joel and about 30 texts. I deleted them without reading and drove home. That week passed in a blur. Sam and I texted constantly. Good morning messages, random thoughts throughout the day, pictures of weird things we saw. She sent me a photo of a dog wearing a birthday hat at the cafe where she worked part-time. I sent her a screenshot of the most ridiculous IT ticket I'd ever received. We had our second date on Wednesday, mini golf this time, which I was somehow even worse at than bowling. How are you this bad at every game? Sam asked, laughing as my ball bounced off 3 walls and ended up farther from the hole than when I started. Natural talent. She helped me line up my next shot, standing close enough that I could smell her shampoo. I still missed, but I didn't care. On Friday, she invited me to a gallery opening where one of her photos was being displayed. It was a shot of the campus library at sunrise, empty tables and golden light streaming through windows. Sam, this is beautiful, I said, staring at it. You think so? I know so. She introduced me to other artists and photographers there. Called me her boyfriend when someone asked who I was. My heart nearly exploded. Afterward, we got tacos from a food truck and sat on the curb eating them. I talked to my advisor today, Sam said, about switching my major. Yeah? What'd they say? That it's a terrible idea and I'd be starting from scratch. She took a bite of her taco. So I'm doing it anyway. Seriously? You were right. Spending 4 years on something I hate is worse than taking a risk on something I love. She bumped my shoulder with hers. Plus, I can't have my boyfriend being braver than me. I'm not brave. I'm just stubborn. Same thing sometimes. We finished our tacos and she drove me back to my apartment. We sat in her car for 20 minutes just talking, neither of us wanting the night to end. I should let you get some sleep, she finally said. Yeah, early shift tomorrow. Before you go, she grabbed my hand. I just want to say thank you for everything. You've made these past 2 weeks really special. You've made them special for me too. She kissed me then, actually kissed me, not just on the cheek. When she pulled back, she was smiling. Okay, now you really have to go before I convince myself to keep you here all night. I got out of the car feeling like my feet weren't touching the ground. The weekend came and Sam had to work both days, so I caught up on chores and binge-watched a show I'd been meaning to start. Sunday night, she called me instead of texting. "Hey," she said, "are you busy right now?" "No. What's up? Can I come over? I need to talk to you about something." My stomach dropped. "Yeah, of course." She showed up 20 minutes later looking stressed. I let her in and she sat on my couch picking at her fingernails. "What's wrong?" I asked. "I ran into Joel today." Everything in me went cold. "Where?" "The coffee shop near campus. I was grabbing something before work and he was there with some guys." She took a breath. "He came up to me when I was waiting for my order." "What did he say?" "He asked if we were really dating." I said yes, and then she trailed off. "Sam, what did he say?" "He told me I should be careful. That you've always been kind of obsessed with me and that this whole thing happened because you manipulated the situation." I felt like I'd been punched. "That's not true." "I know it's not true. I was there. I saw what happened." She looked up at me. "But he said other stuff too. About you. Personal stuff." "Like what?" "He said you used to get weird about girls he dated. That you'd find reasons to hang around and insert yourself into their lives." She grabbed my hand. I told him he was full of it. "But I wanted to hear from you directly. Is there any truth to that?" I thought back through the years of friendship with Joel. The double dates where I'd been the third wheel. The parties where I'd help him clean up after everyone left. The times he'd ask me to drive him and whatever girl he was seeing somewhere because his car was in the shop. "No," I said. "If anything, it was the opposite. He'd ask me to be around as the backup friend, the guy who made him look good by comparison." Sam nodded slowly. "That's what I thought. But there's more." "More?" He said if I was smart, I'd ask you about Kelsey. The name hit me like ice water. I hadn't heard it in 3 years. "Who's Kelsey?" Sam asked. I sat down next to her heavily. She was Joel's girlfriend junior year of college. They dated for about 8 months. And she broke up with him out of nowhere. He never really told me why, but he was messed up about it for a long time. I looked at Sam. "What did Joel say about her?" "He said she left him for you, that you'd been talking to her behind his back and convinced her he was a bad guy." I actually laughed, but there was no humor in it. "That's completely backwards." "What do you mean?" I hadn't thought about Kelsey in years. Hadn't wanted to. But now it was all coming back. Kelsey and I were friends. We had 2 classes together and studied for exams sometimes. It was completely platonic, but Joel got paranoid about it. Started accusing me of trying to steal her. We had this huge fight about it and I backed off completely. Stopped talking to Kelsey. Stopped hanging out with both of them. And then what happened? About a month later, Kelsey showed up at my apartment crying. Joel had been checking her phone, interrogating her about every guy she talked to, showing up unannounced to wherever she was. She was scared of him. Sam's face went pale. Did she tell him to stop? Multiple times. But Joel couldn't handle the idea that she had male friends. He saw threats everywhere. I ran a hand over my face. She asked me if I thought she was overreacting. I told her she wasn't. That his behavior wasn't normal. A week later, she broke up with him. And Joel blamed you. He said I poisoned her against him. That I manipulated her because I wanted her for myself. I met Sam's eyes. I didn't want her like that. I just wanted her to be safe. And after they broke up, she transferred to a different school. I haven't talked to her since. Sam was quiet for a long minute. Did Joel ever get aggressive with her? Physically? Not that I know of. But the way she looked that night. I shook my head. She was genuinely scared, Sam. I couldn't tell her to stay with someone who made her feel like that. No, you did the right thing. Sam squeezed my hand. And now he's trying to do the same thing to us. Make you look like the villain, so I'll doubt you. I wouldn't blame you if you did. Joel can be very convincing when he wants to be. Hey, she cupped my face with both hands. I'm not Kelsey. I'm not going to let Joel get in my head. I saw what he did. I heard what he said. And even if I hadn't, I trust you. Something in my chest loosened. You barely know me. I know enough, and I'm a pretty good judge of character. She kissed me softly. Joel's trying to mess with us because he can't handle that we're happy. Don't let him win. What if he keeps doing this? Showing up, saying stuff. Then we deal with it together. She settled against my side. But right now, I just want to sit here with you and forget he exists. So we did. We put on a movie neither of us paid attention to and just existed in the same space, her head on my shoulder, my arm around her waist. Around midnight, Sam's phone rang. She checked it, and her expression hardened. It's Jean. Hold on, she answered. Hey, what's up? I couldn't hear Jean's side of the conversation, but I watched Sam's face go from concerned to angry. Are you serious? When? A pause. Okay, yeah, I'll tell him. Thanks for letting me know. She hung up and turned to me. Joel posted about us on social media. Posted what? She handed me her phone. It was a long Facebook rant Joel had written, talking about how I'd betrayed him with Sam, how I'd always been jealous of his relationships, how I'd stolen Kelsey and was now stealing Sam. He painted himself as the victim of a longtime friend who'd shown his true colors. The post had dozens of comments already, most from people I didn't know, but some from mutual friends. A few were defending Joel. A couple were calling out the story's holes. One person tagged me directly asking for my side. "This is insane," I said. "It's desperate." Sam took her phone back. "He's trying to control the narrative before we can. Should I respond? Tell people what actually happened?" "No, that's what he wants. He wants you to engage so he can keep this going." She thought for a second. "Jean's going to comment on it. She was there. She'll tell people what she saw. This is going to blow up, isn't it?" "Probably. But here's the thing. The people who matter already know the truth, and the people who believe Joel without asking questions aren't worth worrying about." She was right, but it still felt awful seeing my name dragged through the mud. Over the next few days, the post spread. People were taking sides. Joel's close friends backed him up. Jean and a few others who'd been at the bowling alley or seen us together defended us. Some people just enjoyed the drama. I lost 2 friends over it, guys I'd known since freshman year who decided Joel's version was true without ever asking me. It stung, but Sam was there every time I started spiraling. "They're showing you who they are," she said. "Believe them." A week after the post, I got a message request on Facebook from someone named Kelsey Brennan. My heart stopped when I saw the name. "Kelsey, hey, I heard about what's happening with Joel. I wanted to reach out because I saw his post and I think you should know he's doing the same thing he did to me. The accusations, the social media campaign, all of it. When we broke up, he told everyone I cheated on him with you. It took me months to stop getting harassing messages. I'm sorry you're dealing with this. If you need someone to corroborate your story, I'm willing to go on record. He shouldn't get away with this again." I showed the message to Sam. "Do you want to take her up on that?" Sam asked. "I don't want to drag her back into this." She got out. "She shouldn't have to relive it. That's her choice to make, not yours." I thought about it for a long time before responding. "Me. Thank you for reaching out. That means a lot. I'm doing okay right now, but if things escalate, I might take you up on that. I'm sorry for what you went through back then. You deserved better. Kelsey. So do you, and so does Sam. Don't let him make you small. You're better than he ever gave you credit for." I didn't respond publicly to Joel's post, but Jean did, and so did a few other people who'd witnessed the actual double date. Slowly, the comments started shifting. People began questioning Joel's story, asking why he'd invited me if I was supposedly so awful, pointing out that his version didn't match what multiple witnesses were saying. Joel doubled down, posting screenshots of old conversations between us that he claimed proved I was jealous. Most of them were just normal friend stuff taken wildly out of context. Then someone found his text to Jean about making sure Sam knew I wasn't her type. Jean had apparently screenshotted and shared it with a few friends. Now it was making the rounds. The tide turned fast after that. Joel went from victim to villain in the court of public opinion within 48 hours. He deleted the original post and locked down his social media. But the damage was done. Sam and I tried to move forward like normal. We went on dates, studied together, spent weekends exploring the city. But there was this underlying tension. The knowledge that Joel was out there, probably stewing. 2 weeks after the Facebook incident, I was leaving the library late one night when I found Joel sitting on the steps outside. "We need to talk," he said. I could have walked past him. Should have, probably. But part of me wanted closure. "About what?" "About how you ruined my life." I actually laughed. "I ruined your life? Joel, you did this to yourself. You turned Sam against me. You turned Jean against me. You made me look like a monster on social media. You made yourself look like a monster by being one. All I did was show up to a date and treat someone with basic respect." He stood up, and for a second I thought he might actually take a swing at me. But he just stood there, jaw clenched, hands in fists. "I was your friend," he said, "for 5 years, and you threw that away for some girl. You were never my friend, Joel. Friends don't use each other as props. They don't try to make each other look bad to feel better about themselves. That's not what I did. That's exactly what you did. You've been doing it for years." I was just too pathetic to notice. "I never called you pathetic. You didn't have to. It was in every joke about my appearance. Every time you asked me to hang back while you talked to girls. Every time you made plans and uninvited me at the last second, I took a step toward him. You know what the saddest part is? I would have kept being your friend anyway, but you couldn't even let me have one good night without trying to sabotage it. I didn't sabotage anything. You came in trying way too hard and made me look bad. I wore jeans and a flannel shirt and brought a flower. That's not trying too hard. That's bare minimum effort. The fact that it made you look bad says everything about how little effort you usually put in." His face was red now. "Sam's going to get bored of you. You know that, right? Once the novelty wears off and she realizes you're just a boring IT guy with no prospects, she'll move on. Maybe. But at least she'll do it because she actually got to know me, not because someone convinced her I was trash before we even met. I walked past him toward the parking lot. He didn't follow. When I got to my car, my hands were shaking. I sat in the driver's seat for 10 minutes before I could trust myself to drive. I texted Sam. Ran into Joel. I'm okay, but can I come over? Sam. Doors unlocked. I'll put the kettle on. She lived in a small apartment near campus, with one roommate who was rarely home. When I got there, she had 2 mugs of tea ready and a blanket on the couch. I told her everything Joel had said. She listened without interrupting, her hand in mine. He's spiraling, she said when I finished. This isn't about you anymore. It's about his ego. He said you'd get bored of me. Well, he's wrong. She set her mug down and turned to face me fully. Look, I know we haven't been dating that long, and I know there's still a lot we don't know about each other. But I'm not here because you're novel or interesting. I'm here because you make me feel safe. Because when I talk, you actually listen. Because you showed up to a date with a flower, even though you thought nothing would happen. Sam, let me finish. Joel spent 2 weeks trying to convince people you're this terrible person, and all he did was prove that he doesn't understand you at all. Because if he did, he'd know that you're one of the most genuinely good people I've ever met. My throat felt tight. I don't know about that. I do. She kissed me softly. And I'm not going anywhere. So Joel can spiral all he wants. It doesn't change us. We fell asleep on her couch that night, tangled together under the blanket. I woke up to sunlight streaming through the window and Sam's head on my chest. Things settled down after that. Joel stopped posting on social media, stopped showing up places I'd be. From what I heard through mutual friends, he'd started dating someone new and was on his best behavior. Sam and I kept growing closer. She officially changed her major to photography and started taking on small freelance jobs. I helped her build a website to showcase her work. 3 months into our relationship, she had her first gallery show. A real one, not just a photo in a group exhibition. The entire thing was her work. I stood in that gallery, surrounded by images she'd captured, and felt this overwhelming pride. This was the person who'd chosen me, who saw something in me worth holding on to. What do you think? She asked, appearing at my elbow. I think you're incredible. The photos or me? Both. She laughed and linked her arm through mine. Come on, there's someone I want you to meet. She led me to an older woman standing in front of a portrait series Sam had done. The woman turned and smiled warmly. Mom, this is my boyfriend, the one I told you about. My brain short-circuited. Your mom? Sam's mom extended a hand. I've heard so much about you. All good things, I promise. We shook hands and made small talk about the show. She asked about my work and seemed genuinely interested in my answers. Before she left, she pulled Sam aside for a whispered conversation. Sam was blushing when she came back. What did she say? I asked. She said you seem like a keeper. Sam grabbed my hand. Also that I should lock you down before you wise up and run away. I'm not running anywhere. Good. 6 months in, we were at a diner at 2 in the morning after a movie. Sam was stealing fries off my plate and complaining about a difficult client. He wants me to Photoshop his girlfriend to look thinner in the engagement photos, she said. Like, why not just appreciate how she actually looks? Did you tell him no? I told him I don't do that kind of editing and referred him to someone else. She popped a fry in her mouth. He called me unprofessional. You're not unprofessional. You have standards. That's what I said. She looked at me across the table. Hey, can I ask you something? Always. Do you ever regret how things started with us? The drama with Joel, all that mess? I thought about it. Really thought about it. No, I said. Because without all that, we might not have happened. You might have gone on that date thinking I was just Joel's boring friend. I might have shown up in sweatpants with no effort. The drama forced us to actually see each other. That's a weirdly philosophical way of saying Joel accidentally did us a favor. I guess it is. She reached across the table and grabbed my hand. I'm glad it happened the way it did. Even the bad parts, because it led to this. To 2 a.m. diner fries? To us, you idiot. I squeezed her hand. Yeah, me too. We stayed until the diner closed, talking about nothing and everything. Outside in the parking lot, Sam kissed me under the flickering streetlight. Take me home, she said. Your place or mine. Doesn't matter. Wherever you are is home. It was cheesy and perfect and completely her. 1 year after that first double date, Sam planned a surprise. She told me to dress nice and meet her at a specific address downtown. When I got there, it was the same restaurant we'd gone to that first night. She was waiting outside in a blue dress I'd never seen before, holding a single rose. What's this? I asked. An anniversary date. I thought we should recreate the first one, but better this time. It can't get much better than the original. Watch me. We had dinner at the same table, ordered the same food. But this time there was no Joel, no tension, no ulterior motives. Just us. After dinner, she drove us to the bowling alley. We played 2 games and I was still terrible. Then ice cream at the same shop, and a walk through downtown that ended at the park where we'd sat on our second date. "This has been perfect," I said. "It's not over yet." She pulled something from her purse. An envelope. "What's this?" "Open it." Inside was a photo she'd taken. It was us on that first date, sitting on the bench outside the ice cream shop. I didn't even know she'd taken it. "Jean took this when we weren't looking," Sam explained. "She sent it to me last week. I thought you should have a copy." In the photo, I was mid-laugh at something Sam had said. She was looking at me with this expression I couldn't quite name. Content, maybe. Happy. "I look ridiculous," I said. "You look perfect." She took the photo back and tucked it in the envelope. That's the exact moment I knew this was real. That you weren't just being nice. You were actually enjoying yourself. I was. I still am. Good. She stood up and pulled me to my feet. "Because I have one more surprise." She led me to her car and drove to her apartment. When we got inside, her living room was filled with candles and string lights. "Sam, what?" "Shh, just come here." She pulled me to the couch and we sat down. She was nervous. I could see it in the way she kept tucking her hair behind her ear. "I've been thinking about this for a while," she said. "About us. About where we're going. And I know it's only been a year, but I also know that I don't want to do this with anyone else." My heart was pounding. "I'm not proposing or anything," she added quickly. "That would be insane. But I am saying that I love you, and I want you to know that." The words hung in the air between us. "I love you too," I said. "I have for a while." "Yeah?" "Yeah." She kissed me then, deep and sure. When we broke apart, she was smiling wider than I'd ever seen. "Okay, good. Because I was really nervous you'd freak out." "Why would I freak out?" "I don't know. People do weird things when feelings get real. My feelings have been real since you called Joel out in that parking lot. That was a pretty great moment. It really was. We spent the rest of the night talking about the future. What we wanted, where we saw ourselves in 5 years. Sam wanted to open her own studio. I wanted to maybe start my own consulting business. We could do it together, she said. Not the same business, but at the same time, support each other. I'd like that. Me too. 2 years in, Sam got offered a position at a major photography studio in the city. It was a dream job, but it meant moving an hour away from campus. "I think I'm going to take it," she told me. "But I wanted to talk to you first." "Why?" "It's an amazing opportunity, because it means we'd be long distance for a while, until you graduate." I'd thought about this, known it was coming. "What if I'm not long distance?" I said. "What do you mean? What if I moved with you? I only have 1 semester left. I could take online classes and find IT work in the city." "Are you serious?" "Completely, unless you don't want me to." "No, I do. I just don't want you to give up your degree for me." "I'm not giving it up. I'm adjusting the timeline. There's a difference." She thought about it for a long minute. "Okay, but we get a 2-bedroom apartment. I need space for a home studio, and you need space for all your computer stuff. Deal." We moved to the city that summer. Found a small apartment in a neighborhood full of artists and coffee shops. Sam started her new job, and I finished my degree online while doing freelance IT work. It was hard sometimes. Money was tight. Our schedules didn't always line up, but we made it work. 3 years in, I proposed. Not at a fancy restaurant or some elaborate setup. Just at home on a random Tuesday night while we were cooking dinner. "Hey, Sam? Yeah? Marry me." She dropped the wooden spoon she was holding. "What?" "Marry me. Let's do this for real." "You don't even have a ring." "I have one. It's in my sock drawer. I've been carrying it around for 2 months, waiting for the perfect moment. But I realized there is no perfect moment. Just this. Us. Tuesday night pasta." She started crying and laughing at the same time. "You're insane. Is that a yes?" "Obviously, it's a yes." I got the ring from the bedroom and slipped it on her finger. It fit perfectly. "When did you even buy this?" she asked. "Right after you told me about the studio job. I knew then." "Knew what?" "That I was going to marry you someday. Figured I should be prepared." She kissed me hard. "I love you so much." "I love you too." We got married a year later. Small ceremony, just close friends and family. Jean was Sam's maid of honor. I asked my brother to be my best man. Joel wasn't invited. I'd blocked him on everything years ago and hadn't thought about him in months. But apparently word got around because 2 days before the wedding, I got a message from a mutual friend. "Hey man, just wanted to give you a heads up. Joel's been asking about your wedding, saying he should be there since you guys used to be close. Thought you should know in case he tries to show up." I showed the message to Sam. "What do you want to do?" she asked. "Nothing. If he shows up, we'll deal with it. But I'm not going to let him take up space in our heads." He didn't show up. The wedding went off without any drama. Sam looked incredible. I cried during our vows. We danced until midnight and ate too much cake. During the reception, Sam's mom pulled me aside. "I knew you were the right one the moment I met you," she said. "The way you looked at my daughter, like she hung the moon." She kind of did. She patted my cheek. "Take care of her. Always." 5 years after that first double date, Sam and I were sitting on our balcony watching the sunset. She had her feet in my lap. I was reading some article on my phone. "Hey," she said. "Do you remember exactly what Joel said to you that night? In the parking lot?" "Which part?" "The part about me getting bored of you." "Yeah, why?" "I was thinking about how wrong he was. About everything. But especially that." She sat up and looked at me. "I'm not bored. I don't think I could ever be bored with you. Even when I spend an hour explaining network protocols? Even then. Because you get excited about it. And that's not boring. You're just saying that because you love me. I'm saying it because it's true. And because I want you to know that whatever Joel said that night, whatever he tried to make you believe about yourself, he was wrong. You're not someone people settle for. You're someone people choose. And I choose you every single day." I pulled her close. "I choose you too. Good. Because you're stuck with me now." "Sounds perfect." We sat there as the sun dipped below the horizon, turning everything orange and pink. Somewhere in the city below, life was happening to thousands of people. Drama and heartbreak and second chances. But up here, it was just us. And that was enough. 7 years after that first date, Sam opened her own studio. We'd saved for years, planned carefully, taken the leap. The opening night was packed with people who'd followed her career and wanted to support her. I stood in the back watching her talk to potential clients and felt that same surge of pride from her first gallery show. This was what we'd built together. Toward the end of the night, a woman approached me. She looked familiar, but I couldn't place her. "You probably don't remember me," she said. "I'm Kelsey. We talked online a few years ago about Joel." It clicked. "Kelsey. Yeah. Hi. I saw the announcement about the studio opening and wanted to stop by. Support a fellow survivor." She smiled. "I heard you got married. Congratulations." "Thanks. How are you doing?" "Really good, actually. I'm a therapist now. Specialize in helping people get out of toxic relationships." "That's amazing." "Yeah. Turns out that whole experience with Joel gave me a lot of material to work with." She glanced around the studio. "Your wife is incredibly talented." "She is. Joel tried to convince me I'd never find anyone better than him. Looks like we both proved him wrong." "Looks like it." She left shortly after, but the conversation stayed with me. Joel had tried to make both of us feel worthless. Had tried to control our narratives and our futures. He'd failed. That night at home, Sam was going through photos from the opening. "Today was perfect," she said. "Everything I'd hoped for. You earned it. We earned it. I couldn't have done this without you. You could have, but I'm glad I got to be part of it." She set her laptop aside and curled up next to me. "Do you ever think about how different things would be if Joel had just been honest that night? If he'd told you up front what he wanted?" "Sometimes. But I think it would have ended the same way. Joel was always going to be Joel." "Fair point." She was quiet for a second. "I ran into him about 6 months ago. At a coffee shop." This was news. "You did? Why didn't you tell me?" "Because it wasn't important." He tried to make small talk. Asked how I was doing. I told him I was married and happy and walked away. He didn't follow. How did he look? Honestly? Tired. Older. Like life hadn't been kind to him. I didn't feel satisfaction at that. Just a distant sort of sadness for who Joel could have been if he'd made different choices. "Do you feel bad for him?" Sam asked. "A little, but mostly I just feel grateful we got out when we did." "Me too." 8 years in, Sam got pregnant. We'd been trying for a while, so when the test came back positive, we both cried in the bathroom. "We're going to be parents," she said. "We're going to be terrible at this. Probably. But we'll figure it out." We did figure it out. Our daughter was born on a Tuesday morning in March. We named her River, because Sam had always loved the water. Holding her for the first time, I thought about everything that had led to this moment. The double date, the parking lot confrontation, the years of building a life together. All of it had been worth it for this. "She has your nose," Sam said from the hospital bed. "Poor kid." "Shut up. It's a cute nose." River grew up surrounded by art and love and parents who genuinely liked each other. When she was 3, she asked why Mommy and Daddy smiled at each other so much. "Because we're happy," Sam told her. "Why?" "Because we found each other." "How?" Sam looked at me and grinned. "That's a long story, baby. We'll tell you when you're older." 10 years after that first date, Sam and I were back at the restaurant where it all started, our anniversary tradition. 10 years, she said, raising her glass. "Can you believe it? Honestly? No. It feels like yesterday and forever ago at the same time." "I know what you mean." She sipped her wine. "Do you ever wonder what Joel's doing now?" "Not really. Why?" I heard through Gene that he got married last year. Has a kid on the way. Good for him. I hope he's different with them. Me too. She reached across the table for my hand. But I'm glad his growth didn't come at my expense. Or yours. Same. I mean it. If things had worked out between him and Gene that night, if you'd been the boring date who faded into the background like he wanted, we wouldn't be here. True. But I think we would have found each other eventually. The universe has a way of working things out. You don't believe in the universe. You're a programmer. You believe in logic and code. Maybe you've made me more philosophical. Or maybe you're getting old and sentimental. That too. We finished dinner and drove to the ice cream shop. It was still there, same owners, same weird flavor combinations. We got our usual order and sat on the same bench as our first date. I'm happy, Sam said suddenly. Like, genuinely happy. Are you? Yeah, I am. Good. She leaned her head on my shoulder. Because this, right here, is everything I ever wanted. You, River, the studio, all of it. Even when River draws on your client photos? Even then, she laughed. Okay, maybe not then, but everything else. 15 years after the double date, River was 12 and asking questions about how Sam and I met. So Dad brought Mom a flower on their first date? She asked one night at dinner. Yep, Sam said. A single rose. That's so cringe. Hey, I protested. It worked. Did Mom's friend like Uncle Joel? Sam and I exchanged a glance. We'd never told River the full story. She knew Joel wasn't in our lives, but not why. No, Sam said carefully. Gene didn't like Joel. He wasn't a very good person. What did he do? He tried to use your dad to make himself look better. And when it didn't work, he got mean about it. River processed this. So Dad accidentally stole you from Joel? No, Joel never had me, and you can't steal a person. Sam reached over and squeezed my hand. Your dad just showed up and was himself. That's all it took. Was Joel mad? Very. Good. Dad's way better anyway. I felt my chest get tight. Thanks, kid. No problem. Can I have more pasta? 20 years after that first double date, Sam and I were sitting in our backyard watching River graduate college on a laptop screen. Virtual ceremonies were weird, but we made it work. She got your brains, Sam said. And your creativity. And both of our stubbornness. Poor kid never stood a chance. Sam laughed and wiped her eyes. Where did the time go? I don't know, but I'm glad I spent it with you. Even the hard parts? Especially the hard parts. Because there had been hard parts. Money struggles, health scares, family drama. But we'd faced all of it together, and that made the difference. That night, River called us from her apartment. So, she said, I wanted to tell you guys something. What's up? Sam asked. I met someone. We've been dating for about 6 months. 6 months, I said. And you're just telling us now? I wanted to make sure it was real first. But yeah, it's real. Their name is Morgan and they're amazing. Tell us about them, Sam said. River's face lit up as she talked. The way Morgan made her laugh, their shared love of hiking, how they challenged her to be better. They sound wonderful, Sam said when River finished. When do we get to meet them? Soon, I promise. River paused. Hey Mom, how did you know Dad was the one? Sam looked at me and smiled. He showed up when it mattered, and he kept showing up, even when things got hard. That's how I knew. That's it? That's everything, baby. The rest is just details. 25 years after the double date, I was diagnosed with diabetes. Nothing life-threatening, but it meant lifestyle changes. Sam was there for every doctor's appointment, every diet adjustment, every moment of frustration. We've handled worse, she said when I got discouraged. Have we? Remember when River was 2 and got sick on a road trip, and we had to pull over every 15 minutes for 8 hours? Okay, fair. This isn't that bad. Exactly. We're going to figure this out like we figure out everything else. Together. And we did. 30 years after that first date, River got married. Her partner Morgan was everything River said they were, and more. The ceremony was beautiful. The reception was perfect. And Sam cried through the whole thing. Our baby's all grown up, she said, mascara running down her face. She turned out pretty great. Yeah, she did. During the reception, River pulled us both aside. I just want to say thank you, she said, for showing me what a real partnership looks like, for being the kind of parents who actually liked each other. It wasn't always easy, Sam said. I know, but you made it look easy, and that gave me a blueprint for what I wanted. She hugged us both. I love you guys. We love you too, I said. After the wedding, Sam and I danced to the same song we'd danced to at our own reception 3 decades earlier. 30 years, she said. We made it. We did. Would you do it all again? Knowing everything that happened? In a heartbeat. Even the Joel stuff? Especially the Joel stuff, because it brought us here. She kissed me then, in the middle of the dance floor. surrounded by people celebrating our daughter's happiness. 35 years after the double date, Sam and I were grandparents. River and Morgan had twins, a boy and a girl. We flew out to meet them the day they were born. Holding my granddaughter, I thought about the chain of events that led to her existence. A double date I almost didn't go on, a rose I almost didn't buy, a flannel shirt I almost didn't wear. "What are you thinking about?" Sam asked from the chair next to me. "How lucky we got. We made our own luck. Maybe, but I'm still grateful." Me too. 40 years after the double date, we retired. Sam closed the studio and I left my consulting business. We bought a small house by the ocean and spent our days reading and walking on the beach. One morning I woke up to find Sam standing on the balcony watching the sunrise. "You okay?" I asked. "Yeah, just thinking." "About what?" "That night. The double date. How different everything could have been. But it wasn't." "No, it wasn't." She turned to face me. "I'm so glad I went, even though I almost didn't." "Really? You almost didn't go?" "I thought about canceling. Told Jean I wasn't feeling well, but she convinced me to give it a shot." Sam smiled. "Best decision I ever made." "Second best. You married me. That was definitely the best." Cocky. Confident. She laughed and pulled me close. 40 years and you still make me laugh. That's the goal. 50 years after that first double date, we threw a party. Not for the anniversary. Nobody except us really cared about that. But for our 50th wedding anniversary, River organized everything. The twins, now teenagers, helped set up. Morgan made a photo collage of our life together. All our friends came. Jean was there, still single and happy about it. Some cousins we hadn't seen in years. Neighbors from 3 different houses we'd lived in. At one point, someone asked me to give a speech. I wasn't prepared, but I stood up anyway. 50 years ago, I went on a double date with someone I thought was my friend. He asked me to be the boring distraction while he impressed the girl he liked. I showed up with a flower and clean clothes and no expectations. And I met someone who changed my entire life. I looked at Sam, sitting at the head table with that same sparkle in her eyes. Someone told me once that I'd ruined their life by being myself, by not playing the role they'd assigned me. And maybe I did ruin their life, but I saved my own. Because trying to be someone else, trying to be smaller to make others comfortable, that's not living. That's just existing. Sam saw me when I couldn't see myself. She chose me when logic said she shouldn't. And every day since then, she's kept choosing me. I don't know what I did to deserve that, but I'm grateful for it. So here's to 50 years of choosing each other, of showing up, of being real even when it's hard, and here's to 50 more, if we're lucky. Everyone raised their glasses. Sam was crying. River was crying. I might have been crying too. After the party, after everyone left, Sam and I sat in our living room surrounded by gifts and cards. "That was a good speech," she said. "Thanks. Do you really think we'll get 50 more years?" "Probably not. We're pretty old." "Rude. Realistic." She laughed and leaned against me. "Whatever time we have left, I want to spend it exactly like this. Exhausted from a party and sitting in a messy house? With you, idiot." "Oh yeah, me too." 55 years after the double date, Sam got sick. Nothing dramatic, just old age catching up. Her memory started slipping. Some days she remembered everything. Other days she thought we were still newlyweds. I took care of her the way she'd taken care of me through every difficult moment of our life together. Made her favorite meals, read her favorite books aloud, showed her photos of our life. On good days, she'd look at pictures from that first date and laugh. "I can't believe you brought me a rose," she'd say. "You loved it." I did. I thought it was the sweetest thing. On bad days, she didn't recognize me right away. Those were harder. But eventually she'd remember, and the relief on her face made the confusion worth it. "There you are," she'd say. "I was looking for you. I'm right here. Always." 58 years after the double date, Sam passed away peacefully in her sleep. I was holding her hand. River flew in immediately, helped me plan the funeral, held me while I cried. "She loved you so much," River said. "Right up until the end." "I know. Did she tell you? At the end? Every day. Even when she couldn't remember my name, she knew she loved me." The funeral was beautiful. Lots of photos from Sam's career, stories from friends and clients about how her work had impacted them. River gave a speech about growing up with parents who genuinely liked each other. I couldn't speak, just sat in the front row holding the program and trying to breathe. After everyone left, I went home to our empty house. It was too quiet. I sat in our bedroom looking at the photo from that first date. Sam sitting on the bench outside the ice cream shop, me mid-laugh, both of us young and hopeful. I stayed there until morning. The first year without Sam was the hardest. I kept expecting to see her in the studio or hear her laugh from the kitchen. River visited as often as she could, but she had her own life. I started going through old photos. Found boxes of prints Sam had kept over the years. Our wedding, River's birth, vacations and holidays, and random Tuesdays. One box had photos from that first date. Not just the one from the bench, but others I didn't know existed. Jean must have taken them. Me handing Sam the rose. Us bowling. Walking downtown holding hands. I sat on the floor of the studio and cried for an hour. 2 years after Sam died, I decided to write everything down. Not for publication or anything grand, just for River and the twins, so they'd know the full story. I started with the double date, Joel's request. My decision to actually try. The moment Sam walked toward us in that parking lot, writing it all down brought it back to life. I could hear Sam's laugh, see the way her eyes lit up when she was excited, feel her hand in mine. 3 years after Sam died, River got divorced. Morgan had cheated, and River was devastated. "I thought we'd be like you and Mom," she said one night on the phone. "I thought if I just loved them enough it would work." "Love isn't enough sometimes," I said. "It takes both people showing up. You and Mom showed up? We did, but we were also lucky. We found each other at the right time. I'm never going to find that again. You don't know that. I'm 45, Dad, it's over. Your mom was 23 when we met. I was 24. But age doesn't matter. What matters is being open to it when it comes." She was quiet for a long time. "I miss her." "Me too, baby. Every day." 4 years after Sam died, I moved out of the house by the ocean. It was too big, too full of memories. I got a small apartment in the city near River. One day, while unpacking boxes, I found the rose I'd given Sam on that first date. She'd pressed it in a book and kept it all these years. It was brittle and faded, but still recognizable. I put it in a frame and hung it on the wall. 5 years after Sam died, I was at a coffee shop when someone called my name. I turned to see an old man I didn't recognize. "It's Joel," he said. "Joel Patterson, from college." It took me a second to place him. 58 years had changed him completely, but the voice was the same. "Joel, hi. Can I sit?" He gestured to the empty chair across from me. I almost said no, but curiosity won out. "Sure." He sat down heavily, looked older than his years. "I heard about Sam," he said. "I'm sorry for your loss." "Thank you. I saw the obituary. 50+ years of marriage. That's incredible." I didn't know what to say to that. "Look," Joel continued, "I know this is weird, us running into each other after all this time, but I wanted to say something I should have said decades ago. Okay, I'm sorry. For that night. For how I treated you. For the things I said after." He stared at his coffee cup. "I was young and stupid and insecure, and I took it out on you when you didn't deserve it. Joel, let me finish. Please." He looked up at me. "You were my friend, a real friend, and I used you because I was scared nobody would want me if I didn't have someone to look better than. That's not on you. That's on me. What brought this on? After 58 years? Therapy, mostly, and my wife leaving me last year. She said I never actually saw her. Just used her as a prop to prove I could get married." He laughed bitterly. "Sound familiar?" "A little. I've been thinking about my life a lot lately. All the relationships I destroyed because I couldn't just be real. And I keep coming back to that night. To how I treated you and Sam. How I could have just been happy for you but chose to be bitter instead. Joel, I appreciate the apology. I do. But that was a lifetime ago. I know. And I'm not asking for forgiveness or friendship or anything. I just wanted you to know that I know I was wrong. That you didn't ruin my life like I said. I did that myself." We sat in silence for a moment. "For what it's worth," I finally said, "I hope you find what you're looking for." "Thanks." He stood up. "Take care of yourself." "You too." He walked out and I never saw him again. 6 years after Sam died, River met someone new. They were careful this time, taking it slow, but I could see the difference in her. The happiness. "This one feels right," she told me. "Good. You deserve that." "Did you know right away, with Mom?" "Not right away, but pretty close. By the end of that first night, I knew she was special." "How?" "She made me feel like I mattered. Like my thoughts and feelings and weird jokes were worth paying attention to." I smiled at the memory. "And she showed up. Every single day for 58 years. She showed up. I want that. Then find someone who shows up, and show up for them too." 7 years after Sam died, River got remarried. Small ceremony, just family. I walked her down the aisle and tried not to cry. "Mom would be so happy," River whispered before we started walking. "She would be so proud," I corrected. "You found your person. Like you found yours." "Yeah, like that." 8 years after Sam died, I was diagnosed with heart failure. Nothing immediately life-threatening, but the doctors said I should get my affairs in order. River wanted me to move in with her. I said no. I wanted to stay independent as long as I could. "At least let me visit more often," she said. "I'd like that." She came by twice a week. We'd have dinner and watch old movies. Sometimes she'd bring the twins, who weren't twins anymore but full adults with jobs and lives. 9 years after Sam died, I started having dreams about her. Not sad dreams, good ones. We'd be young again, sitting on that bench outside the ice cream shop, walking through downtown holding hands, dancing at River's wedding. I'd wake up and feel her presence so strongly I'd call out her name. The apartment was always empty, but it didn't feel empty anymore. 10 years after Sam died, on what would have been our 65th wedding anniversary, I went back to the restaurant where it all started. It was different now. New owners, new menu, but the bones were the same. I ordered dinner and sat at a table alone, thought about that first night, how nervous I'd been, how Sam's face had lit up when I handed her the rose. "Excuse me?" A waitress approached. "Are you okay?" "Yeah, just remembering something." "Good memory?" "The best." After dinner, I walked to the ice cream shop. It was still there, somehow survived 65 years. I ordered the same weird combination Sam had gotten that first night. It tasted exactly the same. I sat on the bench and pulled out my phone, found the photo from that night. Young me, young Sam, the whole future ahead of us. "We did good, didn't we?" I said to the photo. A woman walking past gave me a strange look. I didn't care. 65 years, 1 kid, 2 grandkids, a whole life together. I touched Sam's face on the screen. "Yeah, we did real good." I sat there until the shop closed, then walked slowly back to my car. 11 years after Sam died, I woke up one morning and knew it was time. My heart was giving out. I could feel it. I called River. "Hey baby, I need you to come over." "What's wrong?" "Just come, please." She was there in 20 minutes, found me sitting in my chair surrounded by photos. "Dad?" Her voice was scared. "It's okay. I'm not in pain. I just wanted you here. I'm calling an ambulance." "Don't, please. I don't want to die in a hospital." "Dad." "River, I've had a good life. A long life. Your mom's waiting for me." I grabbed her hand. "Let me go." She was crying now. "I'm not ready." "You're ready. You've been ready for years." I squeezed her hand. "You're strong and smart and you found your person. You're going to be fine. I love you." "I love you too. More than anything except your mom." She laughed through her tears. "She'd kick your ass for that qualifier." "Probably." We sat there together as the room got darker. River holding my hand. Me looking at photos of the life Sam and I had built. "Tell me about the double date," River said. "One more time." So I did. Started with Joel's request and ended with Sam's confession in the parking lot. Told her about the rose and the flannel shirt and the way Sam's face had transformed when she smiled. "That's how you know it's real," I said, my voice getting weaker. "When someone sees you for who you actually are and chooses you anyway. Like Mom chose you. Like Mom chose me." I closed my eyes, and I chose her back. Every single day. "I'm going to miss you so much." "I know, but I'll be with your mom. We'll watch over you." The room was getting dim, or maybe it was just my eyes. "River?" "Yeah, Dad? Thank you for being the best thing we ever did." "Dad, but I was already gone." They found me in my chair, surrounded by photos. River's hand in mine. The framed rose on the wall. A smile on my face. At my funeral, River told the story of the double date. How her parents met because someone tried to use her dad as a prop, and it backfired spectacularly. "My dad always said that night changed his life," River said. "That showing up as himself even when someone wanted him to be less saved him. And it gave me and all of you the gift of watching 2 people genuinely love each other for 65 years. So here's my challenge to you. Show up as yourself. Don't shrink to make others comfortable. Don't be the prop in someone else's story. Be the main character in your own." That's what my dad did, and it gave him everything. They buried me next to Sam. Our headstone was simple, just our names and dates and one line. They showed up,